Moving on now, Vikram's admission that he was drinking that fateful night when he literally drove actor Sonika Chauhan to death. The Times Network has accessed more exclusive details that nail the actor. Toyota, the makers of the car that Vikram was driving, has conducted a crash data retrieval with their forensic team on the car. Now, sources tell us prima facie that Toyota has assessed the speed of the car to be between 90 to 100 kilometers per hour or more. Tamal joins us with more on this. Now, Tamal, we know that the forensic experts from the Toyota, that is the car that Vikram was driving on that night, have have conducted tests on that car. What do we have more on this?
Well, let's recall Vikram Chatterjee's press conference on 5th of May 2017. In that press conference, soon after coming out of the hospital, he had claimed two things. Number one, he was not under the influence of intoxication. And number two, he was not speeding the car. In fact, all reports, the speculative reports suggesting that he was driving his car at 120 and that he was intoxicated. He had refuted all of them. Now, both these two claims of Vikram Chatterjee fall flat on his face because now Toyota has done their forensic assessment of the car. They have done car crash data retrieval, which in other words can also be called as EDR, event data records. It's almost like a black box of a car that helps the investigating agency to understand what was the speed of the car at the time of the crash. Now, Toyota, having done so with their own forensic team, in prima facie has assessed the car speed to be between 90 and 100, could be slightly more than that. Now, the stretch that you're talking about, the road where the accident happened, is a busy thoroughfare, even though the accident happened at around 3:30 in the morning, and the road quite naturally was empty. But then the road also has a tram line in Kolkata, and that tram line, over the tram line, it is not advisable to drive at such a high reckless speed because the speed limit over there is 40 kilometers per hour for a definite purpose. Now, if the car was speeding on such a high speed, certainly it has caused for a lot of risk. We have to wait for investigating agency here in the case, Kolkata Police, to finally complete the investigation and come up with a clear picture as whether it was speed clubbed with intoxication or it was only speed that had claimed Sonika's life.
Right, Tamal. Of course, as investigations on this matter continue, the minute test of the details which will come to the fore once the investigations are over. Now, I also would like to know, Tamal, when are they likely to file the report, submit the report?
Well, we are expecting the report to be submitted by end of business hour today. So we are hoping by end of day today, they would be submitting the report. We have to understand it's a very crucial piece of investigative for the sake of investigation. In fact, cops are also waiting for the report to come to their hands. So the prima facie initial assessment has been communicated to them, but then the final report will be a matter of file as the investigation progresses. We are expecting the report to be submitted by end of day today.
Right. And Tamal, as far as the investigations are concerned, what are the authorities telling you? Are they going in the right direction, or there are still some angles that are left unexplored?
Well, it seems like the investigation has picked up a pace and now seems to be on the right direction. Yes, having spoken to several senior officers, and his sources are to believe initially there was some sort of a slow pace in the investigation. It had not picked up the way they should have. But then after Times Network's expose, even they have access to all those visuals, which clearly indicate that Vikram Chatterjee was having a drink on that fateful night, hours before the crash happened, clearly contradicting the claim that he had made that he was not under the influence of any intoxication. And taking a cue from there, yes, the investigation has progressed. Witnesses have deposed before the investigating officer. Also, they have recorded their statement under Section 164. In fact, late last evening, the other major development that happened, cops did reach to Sonika Chauhan's place, spoke to her mom and dad, and had also collected Sonika Chauhan's phone and clothes that she was wearing on that night. So all these evidences have now been collected. They will also be sent for forensic, for further investigation to know if there was any foul play. But primarily, at the moment, the investigating officer, Kolkata Police, they are investigating on the direction to understand whether it was reckless driving, high speed, and whether it was an incidence of intoxication or alcohol that led to this tragic accident.
Indeed. Yes. Right, Tamal, thanks for getting us all those details.